Spark and Grit is a piece of outdoor promenade theatre celebrating the heritage of the Carron Company. This event is important because it really is a celebration of how we use the Carron Dams Local Nature Reserve as an outdoor classroom, and we have done so for a number of years, and each year our scale of our ambition becomes bigger and bigger. We've written poetry books, we've made films, and really it's about us all combining together and thinking what is the best way that we can celebrate this place, and also to encourage the public to come in and use the space and understand why this space exists, that the Carron Dams Local Nature Reserve would not exist if it wasn't for the Carron Company. And I think there's a real irony about this, that such an industrial site has now been reclaimed by nature and is such now a beautiful place to visit.
Carron Company was established by three main partners, Samuel Garbett and Dr. John Roebuck from the Birmingham area, and the Cadell family from West Lothian. They came to Scotland because the raw materials were here, but also it had the motive power. In these days, water was essential for the blast and also for the transport. The Forth is a major trading route, and it allows vessels to go into the River Carron. The Carron was not a very wide river, and of course as vessels got bigger and bigger, the Forth was essential to the Carron Company to use the larger vessels, and they used the ports of Grangemouth and Bowness for the East Coast trade. They're not just transporting the goods, which of course are very important, but also passengers.
Carron Dams is a site that is owned by Falkirk Council, has been since the early 80s. This site is one that it's like a little hidden gem. You can go in there and disappear into the nature, feel like you're a million miles away, even though there's a main road right next to it. There's a school on one side and there's industrial units and a landfill on the other. Once you're in the middle of there, you just wouldn't know it. It's like a wee oasis. The other reason that it's important is to do with some of the biodiversity, wildlife that's knocking about in there. There's some really important solitary bees that live in one part of the site, which we're trying our very best to create good habitat to keep and to encourage more of. And I understand there's all sorts of other very important bugs and beasties living there too.
The works were located very close to the River Carron, and the Carron itself, of course, is linked directly into the River Forth. And the River Forth is the key to everything here because it was the doorway to the whole world. The River Carron itself is close enough to the works so that the heavy goods that were being produced could be loaded onto barges even inside the works and sailed out along a specially constructed canal which took them into the River Carron and then very shortly to the little harbour at Carron Shore, which had existed for quite a long time before the works arrived there.
During wartime, the Carron Company came into its own during as early as the Napoleonic Wars, then into the Boer War, etc., First World War, Second World War, making influence. But in between times, they made fine goods. They were well known for their fine goods. They had the best designers, the best carvers who would create moulds from the carvings which decorated lovely fireplaces. They also were important for making cast iron baths. They made cast iron baths from 1866, and at that particular time the cast iron bath was finished and hand painted, and Japan painted wavy lines, etc. Towards the turn of the 20th century, vitreous enamel baths were becoming the norm. They didn't know how to do that, so they bought a company who did, Glasgow Enamelling Company, and they started to make enamel baths at Carron. About the same time they made their first cookers. They had already made ranges, but they started to move into making gas cookers and electric cookers, etc. So that's the type of products they were making. Quite a wide range of stuff, from the military to the fine goods. The River Forth was the main artery linked up with the River Carron, and latterly Carron Company had its own shipping company which ran a service twice a week down to London through the Forth. I got involved because of my book I wrote a few years back, because of my interest in Carron. I'd also been involved with the people who do the local nature reserve with the dams, gave them historical information, and of course it just led on to being asked to help them with this.
This Spark and Grit project aims to bring people closer together in the community to appreciate the cultural heritage and to appreciate the natural environment of the local area, with the hope that they'll enjoy it, respect it and spread the word.
So for Spark and Grit we have researched accurate props from the Carron works, some of the props that are going to be involved in the script. So for example we have swan masks because very early on there was a conversation down the dams actually with one of the gentlemen from Carron Conversations who explained that there was a swan herder, and there was actually, he herded the swans from one area of the dams to the other because of, just to keep the water clean. So this has actually transpired into swans that will dance, so we'll be making swan heads. Over the last kind of couple of years, I really think that working outside and working in partnership with outside agencies and even basically other departments in the school is absolutely invaluable. And I think if they see an end product, and this hopefully will culminate in something really exciting, it really spurs on their imagination, their creativity and the ability to want to actually produce something that looks really professional, and it just gets them working as a team and really enthused and passionate about what they're doing.
My involvement with Spark and Grit started about a year and a half ago on a bus on a school trip with Lorna from the English department, and she was telling me about all the magical stuff that she already was doing in the Carron Dams with lots of her classes. Lorna wrote the script and I've kind of put it on the stage, so to speak, and had the vision of sound and lighting and soundscapes and music and what the characters would look like in the flesh. I think projects like this are so important because they're working with people from across different departments, teachers from across different departments, but also community partners and professionals. We had a professional lighting designer in on this, Carron Stewart, who's worked on big pieces of theatre across the country, and he actually came in and spent time with the kids when he was designing the lighting states. So that's a really, really unique experience that those kids have now got.
I think events like this are incredibly important in terms of bringing the community together and actually educating our community as well. There might come a time where it gets lost and it gets forgotten about, so I think it's the sense of kind of keeping that alive.
Carron Dams is an important place because it came from a unique moment in time where people met at this place where serendipity put them all together. The people with the scientific knowledge, the people with the work ethic, the people with the skills and the talents to create what at one time was one of the biggest iron companies in the world. And it was really because of the unique geography of this place, where the River Carron flowing into the Forth, where we had easy access to all the raw materials that we needed to make iron. And there's something very unique about this place today even, that we have a school that borders onto a SSSI local nature reserve. And we're so lucky to have this here, and in a way this has sparked our imagination. I like to think that the energy and the enterprise that went on with the original iron company is being replicated in what we're doing here.